Libra, my dear. Your miracle is already on its way. This week, the universe is stepping in to handle everything you've been carrying alone. And your only job now is to rest. Let's pause for a moment, not out of weakness, but out of divine timing. Have you ever felt like you've been holding the entire world together while your own heart is quietly falling apart? Have you ever been the one holding space for everyone else's healing, even while no one seemed to notice your silent breakdowns? If you're nodding right now, if your soul feels seen in those words, then let me be clear. This message found you because it was meant to. And this is not just a horoscope reading. This is a divine appointment. Welcome to Zodiac Whisper Tarot, where we go beyond surface predictions and into the soul-level truths your spirit has been waiting to hear. Because Libra, you've done enough. You've fought quietly. You've shown up when no one clapped. You've held your peace while the world stormed around you. You've been the harmonizer, the healer, the emotional anchor even when no one asked if you were okay. And now, the universe is stepping in to take the final shift. This is your spiritual shift change. You're being moved from survival to sacred surrender. The message today is simple but urgent. Rest now, Libra. Everything you've prayed for is already in motion. This week is not just another turn on the calendar. Astrologically, we are entering a portal of deep emotional healing and divine restoration. With the waning moon moving through Pisces between the 16th and 18th, and Venus forming a rare, expansive trine with Jupiter, the energies are calling you to exhale. To trust. To stop proving. And to finally receive. The miracle you've been waiting for isn't something you have to fight for anymore. It's already been dispatched. It's been processed through spiritual logistics. It's been cleared, packed, and stamped with your soul's name on it. The only thing left is for you to let it arrive. So take a deep breath, Libra. Let it reach your belly. Hold it. Now let it out slowly, as if you're releasing years of invisible labor. Because you are. And you must. It's time. Now, I want you to pause and comment below. Type the number 777 to confirm that you are stepping into divine rest and releasing control. This isn't just an algorithm trick. This is you casting a vote for your spiritual upgrade, anchoring your new vibration into the world. Say it in the comments, too, if you feel it. I surrender to the divine timeline. I allow my miracle to find me. And if you're new here, or even if you've been silently watching, know this: your presence here matters more than you know. Let me take a brief moment to say thank you truly for showing up today. Every like, every comment, every new subscriber expands this sacred circle and allows this channel to continue serving messages of transformation, peace, and divine intervention. You are not just a viewer. You are a vital part of this soul family. And believe me when I say, you'll want to stay with me through the end of today's video, because what the universe is about to reveal is not only powerful, it's personal. Now let's begin this journey together. Because something extraordinary is about to unfold for you. Some mornings, Libra, we wake up already bracing for battle, eyes barely open, mind already cycling through to-do lists, past regrets, and future uncertainties. But this week, something is different. You may have noticed it already. That habitual inner checklist. It's gone. And in its place, silence. A kind of sacred stillness that at first might feel like emptiness, but is in fact the space needed for miracles to land. What you're experiencing isn't weakness. It's not you giving up or checking out. It's what I call a spiritual handover. This moment this week marks the shift from doing to receiving, from striving to allowing. And it couldn't be more aligned with the current cosmic energy. Between September 16th and 18th, the waning moon is moving through Pisces, the most mystical, forgiving, and emotionally cleansing sign of the zodiac. Pisces doesn't push or prove. It surrenders. It lets go. This lunar phase isn't asking you to fix your life. It's inviting you to trust that life is already fixing itself in ways you can't yet see. This is an energetic soft landing, Libra, one that asks you to stop clenching your jaw and start exhaling your resistance. At the same time, Venus, your ruling planet, the heart of your emotional compass, is forming a beautiful, generous trine with Jupiter. This is a rare blessing transit. It often brings what I call quiet abundance, unexpected opportunities, relational healing, or solutions to long-standing issues that arrive not through force, but through divine timing. And here's what makes this even more profound, Libra, this blessing comes not because you've fought harder, but because you've held so much for so long without demanding recognition. That quiet strength you've practiced? The diplomacy, the grace, the self-restraint, it hasn't gone unnoticed. The cosmic scales are rebalancing now. Not through noise, but through stillness. Not through action, but through alignment. But here's the truth many overlook: letting go isn't easy. Especially when you've spent months, even years, operating like the CEO of your own survival. You've managed everything from emotional cleanup in relationships to silent support roles no one ever acknowledged. So, of course, when things go quiet, the impulse might be to panic. But peace, Libra, can feel foreign when chaos has been your norm. That's okay. This is where trust becomes your spiritual practice. Trust in the process. Trust in your preparation. Trust in the rhythm of divine unfolding. You see, in times like these, I'm often reminded of a simple yet profound truth whispered in sacred spaces: those who are weary are not broken. They are ready. When your soul has reached the edge of its endurance, it's not the end, it's the invitation. It's the moment heaven says, "You've done enough. Now let me." And when I say heaven, don't imagine something out of reach. It's closer than you think, in the breath you've just taken, in the unexpected phone call, in the door that opens without you knocking. So, if you're feeling a strange emptiness this week, a drop in urgency, a lull in drive, please don't fill it with busy work. Don't numb it. Honor it. That stillness is your new ecosystem. It's where spiritual rewiring is happening beneath the surface. And what's coming next needs a clear path to land. Take this moment to speak gently to yourself. Whisper what you've needed to hear. Maybe it sounds like, "I release what no longer serves me. I am held. I am safe to rest now." Or maybe you simply sit in the silence and let your breath say it for you. If you feel called, share in the comments, "I'm ready to let the universe take over." Or even just type "Amen" as a sign that you're aligning with rest, not as weakness, but as wisdom. Because you, Libra, are not stepping down. You are being elevated, and it all begins with your willingness to lay the burden down and trust that the blessing is already en route. There's a quiet kind of courage in choosing to stop. Especially when you've been trained, conditioned, even celebrated for pushing through. For always being the one who keeps it together. For being calm under pressure. But Libra, this week, the invitation is clear, not to abandon your strength, but to reframe it. Strength now looks like release. And the universe is giving you permission now, urging you to redefine what control even means. When the Pisces moon gently wanes in the sky, its soft frequency asks us to lean into trust rather than tension. For someone like you, born under an air sign ruled by Venus, your instincts often whisper for peace, for beauty, for fairness, yet life doesn't always reflect that back. And so you've worked double time. You've been the regulator of emotional climates, the mediator between energies that never seem to meet in the middle. But now, with this lunar shift and Venus harmonizing with Jupiter's expansive, benevolent energy, your spiritual labor is being relieved. The cosmic weight is being redistributed. Your soul has clocked out of overfunctioning and is being called into something higher, what I call energetic trust. Think of it this way: when a seed is planted in the soil, we don't dig it up every day to check if it's growing. We water it, place it in sunlight, and then we wait. We trust the process we cannot see. The same is true now for you. Your efforts, your intentions, your quiet resilience, it's all been sown. The soil of your life has received the message. And now, it's time to let go of the shovel and let the miracle break through the surface in its own time. In practical terms, this could mean stepping back from micromanaging things you used to obsess over. Maybe it's a relationship that no longer needs saving, or a work situation that is shifting behind the scenes. Maybe it's your own healing, no longer needing to fix yourself, but simply to be with yourself. The discomfort of stillness is temporary. But the restoration it brings? That lasts. And while it may sound simple, resting is often the bravest act for someone who's spent a lifetime surviving. What I've seen in the deepest healing journeys, not just through astrology, but through energy therapy and even modern coaching, is that surrender often births what striving never could. One of the most miraculous stories I've ever witnessed came from a woman who had been working tirelessly for years to hold her family together after a traumatic event. She tried everything: therapy, managing everyone's needs, staying busy, reading every self-help book she could find. But it wasn't until she sat on her porch one morning, whispered a single sentence, "I can't carry this alone anymore," that everything changed. Within days, she started receiving unexpected help. The dynamic shifted. Her son called to say he felt the difference in the home. She said it was the first time she ever felt the divine was doing the work for her, not because she earned it, but because she stopped resisting it. There's power in that. And you, Libra, are at a very similar crossroads now. You're not being punished for your fatigue. You're being invited into replenishment. You're not falling behind. You're finally stepping aside to allow what's meant for you to arrive. Not through force, but through flow. If your heart's been aching for a sign that it's safe to release, let this be it. So take a gentle breath. Let your hands fall open. You've done your part. Now let life meet you halfway. And if this message speaks to you, if you feel that quiet yes rising in your spirit, leave a comment below to affirm it. Say, "I'm ready to allow what I've already planted to grow." Let's honor the shift not with urgency, but with grace. Because grace, Libra, is how miracles move. Sometimes the universe speaks in whispers, not through thunder, but through soft, unmistakable nudges. Libra, this week is filled with them. And if you pay attention, you'll start to notice that these moments aren't coincidences at all, but confirmations. Small signs are beginning to show up, and though they may seem simple at first, a $10 bill found in your pocket when you needed gas, a random text from someone offering support, a repeating number pattern flashing across your screen, they are divine logistics. These are spiritual shipping notifications. The miracle is not just on the way. It has been dispatched. And the signs are simply the way your higher timeline says, I'm almost there. Keep the door open. It's easy to overlook small things when we're expecting big shifts. Many people dismiss these moments because they don't come wrapped in thunder or dramatic transformation. But transformation almost never starts in fireworks. It begins in pattern, in alignment, in subtle shifts. In numerology, for instance, the number 7 represents completion, the spiritual sense that something has run its course and is ready to manifest in form. The number 8 resonates with financial empowerment, legacy, and material success, often arriving just after long seasons of lack or energetic drought. And 4? That number is all about foundation, structure, angelic protection. When you keep seeing 444 or 888 or even a repeated time stamp, it's not random, it's a frequency signature being signed across the landscape of your life. The best thing you can do right now is become a conscious receiver. Keep a journal nearby. Write down every moment that feels aligned, every synchronicity you encounter, every chance meeting, every gut feeling that turns out to be right. Because this not only strengthens your awareness, it also signals back to the universe that you're paying attention, that you're ready, that you believe. I once worked with someone, a Libra, in fact, who had been unemployed for months. Every morning, she would light a candle, meditate for a few minutes, and repeat her affirmation, I open my heart and my life to receive what is meant for me. One day, she watched a video where we talked about commenting with angel numbers as an act of energetic alignment. She typed 888 in the comments without thinking too hard about it. 3 days later, she received an email from a former acquaintance offering her a freelance project that turned into a full-time position. She hadn't applied for it. She hadn't planned it. It simply found her. But she was ready. That's the key. Being ready doesn't mean being perfect or having it all figured out. It just means being open, being still enough to notice when something is trying to reach you. If you're always busy, rushing, checking the next thing off your list, you might miss the moment the miracle knocks. But if you're in a state of daily quiet receiving, even just for 5 minutes each morning, you align your field. You open the gates. In your own life, begin to welcome these signs like you would welcome a long-awaited letter from a loved one. They may not be the full message yet, but they are the envelope, the ink, the scent of what's coming. Say to yourself in the morning, gently but clearly, I am open to receive everything good meant for me today. And then live your day as if you believe that's already happening. What would shift if you saw every small moment as a sacred preview? Every tiny miracle as a guarantee that something bigger is unfolding behind the scenes? If you've already seen signs this week, repeating numbers, surprise help, a moment of clarity in a dream, comment below. Share it. Declare it. This is not just a message to listen to, it's an energy to participate in. The more we acknowledge the signs, the louder they become. And remember, the miracle hasn't forgotten your address. It's just waiting for you to stand still long enough to hear the knock. There's a strange quiet that follows a long battle, not the silence of surrender, but the stillness of liberation. Libra, if you've been sensing that something heavy has shifted, you're right. What once drained you now feels strangely distant. People or patterns that used to pull at your energy seem to be losing their grip. That's not your imagination. That's energetic law in motion. When your vibration elevates, anything that no longer matches your frequency begins to fall away. This is the subtle yet powerful process of release, not as punishment, but as protection. You've likely been the emotional anchor for others far too long, holding tension that wasn't yours, managing the moods of people who never asked how you were truly doing. And you did it not out of weakness, but out of love, or maybe out of survival. But something has changed in you. What used to feel like obligation now feels like overextension. The stage has changed. The script has evolved. And the old characters simply don't belong in this scene anymore. In this new chapter, your energy is no longer up for negotiation. People who once manipulated you subtly through guilt, silence, or inconsistency are now being energetically redirected out of your life. It may not be dramatic. You may not even get closure. But you will get freedom. These people are not villains. They are simply no longer aligned with the version of you who knows her worth. Think of it like this: if you've ever watched a theater performance, you know that when the set changes, so does the lighting. Certain actors step off stage while new ones enter. The spotlight moves. The story progresses. You're not rejecting the past, you're honoring that it had its role. But now, the scene has shifted, and you're being asked to step forward without dragging the weight of outdated roles with you. One of the most powerful healing practices I often recommend in this phase is the unsent letter. Sit down with intention and write a letter to someone who hurt you, someone who left without explanation, someone who chipped away at your confidence, or maybe someone you still love but can no longer hold. In that letter, say everything your heart needs to say. Thank them for what you learned. Acknowledge what hurt. And when you're ready, burn the letter safely. Let the smoke carry away the energy you've been holding for far too long. You're not doing this for them. You're doing this for your nervous system. For your future peace. For your ability to receive what's next without still bleeding from what's past. And if your thoughts begin to spiral again, wondering if you made the right decision, if you should have said more or stayed longer, try the 4-4-4 breath. Inhale slowly for 4 seconds, hold for 4, and exhale gently for 4. Repeat this cycle 7 times. This breathwork mirrors the energy of divine order, 3 equal parts, like a sacred rhythm, and it will help you release the compulsion to fix what was never yours to carry. Remember, healing isn't always loud. Sometimes it looks like not replying. Sometimes it feels like not explaining. Sometimes it's just the quiet conviction that you're no longer playing small in spaces that never saw your light. And while we won't call this justice, know that the rebalancing is already happening. You don't need to witness it. You only need to feel the relief in your own chest, the space that used to be filled with anxiety now beginning to soften. You're not bitter. You're just done. And that's okay. If this message resonates, share it below. Say, I release the roles I no longer need to play. And know that by declaring it, you're already making room for something new, something true, something finally aligned with the peace you were always meant to live in. Sometimes, the most profound transformation begins not with a loud declaration, but with a soft surrender. After releasing the energies of the past and forgiving those who tried to dim your light, we now step into a space where the stillness itself becomes a sacred act. This is not passive. This is powerful. Rest, for many, is misunderstood as a lack of productivity. But from the perspective of cosmic energy and vibrational alignment, rest is one of the most magnetic states a soul can enter. It is within the quiet where clarity returns. It is in silence that divine instructions become audible. For Libra especially, with your innate desire for balance and harmony, this moment is not just a pause, it is an intentional recalibration. Visualizing your desires as already answered isn't just wishful thinking, it's quantum preparation. Each morning, when you take 5 sacred minutes to close your eyes and truly feel your prayers as if they've already manifested, you're not escaping reality, you're building it. That feeling of peace, of certainty, of gratitude in advance, becomes a frequency the universe cannot ignore. You're no longer acting from desperation or lack. You are magnetizing from alignment. This is the art of strategic stillness, a spiritual technology that requires no movement but causes seismic shifts. When the star appears alongside the 4 of Swords and Temperance, the message couldn't be clearer. You are being guided into a divine pause, not because you're weak, but because you're being healed. The star whispers of hope renewed, of distant blessings already en route. The 4 of Swords invites deep rest, mental, emotional, energetic. And Temperance urges you to allow everything to come into right timing. When you try to interfere with the miracle, to tweak it, to question it, to rush it, you risk unraveling a divine weave. Don't fix the miracle. Don't disturb the soil while the seed is germinating. Let it bloom. Somewhere in your past, you may have been conditioned to believe that only constant action creates results. But what if the highest form of action, right now, is stillness paired with unwavering belief? There's a kind of nobility in choosing peace over panic, calm over chaos. Choosing to rest when the world screams for urgency is a rebellious act of faith. Strategic stillness is how you allow the invisible to arrange what your hands cannot touch. This doesn't mean you give up. It means you let go and trust. It's much like the story of those who've learned to hand their worries over to God during their busiest days. Not because they didn't care, but because they realized they weren't designed to carry it all. There's a quiet miracle in letting go of control and watching things align in ways no logic can explain. You've likely heard the stories: the job that appeared at the 11th hour, the diagnosis that suddenly reversed, the door that opened when the person stopped banging. What if this is your moment for such a miracle? Let your silence become the signal. Let your rest become your ritual. Let your breath be the daily sermon your body hears. You are no longer waiting to be rescued, you are remembering your sovereignty. This stillness? It's your sanctuary. Your strategy. Your strength. And as you embody this peaceful power, ask yourself gently, what could shift in my life if I stopped trying to force everything? What magic could finally land if I gave it space to arrive? Type your answer in the comments and claim this energy by writing, I trust the pause. I am ready for the miracle. Dizzy, so many people rush through life, chasing signs, chasing miracles, chasing outcomes. But you, dear Libra, were never meant to chase. You were designed to receive. You are not the hunter of miracles, you are the harbor they arrive at when the tides are calm and the light is steady. And today, after all the storms you've passed through, your soul is learning how to be still again. How to become the kind of stillness that attracts the extraordinary without force. When we say, rest now, it's not laziness. It's not passivity. It's energetic alignment. It's saying to the universe, I trust you enough to stop striving. And that level of trust, that is where the real power begins. You don't have to force divine timing. You don't need to manipulate outcomes or convince anyone of your worth. What you can do hat you must always make space inside yourself for what you've asked for. Because blessings don't land in chaos. Miracles need a landing strip. And that landing strip is your peace. It's your willingness to let go of the anxious need to control, and instead, sit in expectancy like a soul who knows the blessing is already en route. What would happen if, just for this week, you stopped doubting how worthy you are? What would change if you gave yourself permission to believe the miracle is already in motion and all you need to do is clear the clutter of fear? This is the message behind the cards this week. The Star, Four of Swords, Temperance. Not just resting, but rebalancing, recalibrating, remembering who you are. You are not broken. You are not lost. You are not running out of time. You are simply in a sacred pause while something bigger aligns itself around you. Each morning this week, try this small yet mighty practice. Take 5 minutes before the world gets loud. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and visualize your prayer already answered. Don't beg for it. See it. Feel it. Act as if it's done. This is not delusion, it's alignment. And alignment collapses timelines faster than hustle ever could. Also, resist the urge to fix the miracle. When something good begins to happen, don't overanalyze it. Don't ask if it's too good to be true. Don't sabotage it by doubting your right to receive. Receive. Smile. Say thank you. Let it land. Maybe, just maybe, this is the season when you no longer need to be rescued. Because you've already stepped into the light. No one's coming to save you anymore. Because now, you don't need saving. You've remembered who you are. And from that remembering, everything shifts. Now I invite you to reflect gently and share with us below. What have you cleared from your heart this week? What space have you made for new blessings? Write in the comments, I've cleared my heart. The miracle can arrive now. Let this be your declaration. Let it be a signal to the universe that your harbor is ready. And if you're someone who works with color energy, here's a simple action. Hang or place a soft olive green cloth somewhere in your bedroom, a small ribbon, a scarf, anything. This color is connected to Venus, your ruling planet, and it magnetizes peace, beauty, and divine grace into your resting space. Libra, the reward is already prepared. The question is, are you willing to let yourself be worthy of it? If your answer is yes, type 777 in the comments right now and anchor this frequency in your timeline. And if you felt a shift during this video, if you feel more calm, more connected, more seen, please like, subscribe, and share this message with someone else who needs rest without guilt. Here on Zodiac Whisper Tarot, we honor your inner transformation. We speak gently. We believe fiercely. And we walk with you. Because your miracle is not far away. It's right outside the harbor waiting for permission to land.